Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do dabble on other online platforms and I sell locally. Today I have another ship with me video. It is Tuesday, August 5th, and these are sales from over the weekend, but keep watching because I go day to day and I share all the different items I'm shipping out every day, and hopefully you can learn some new things to keep your eyes out for when you're out thrifting. So it was an okay weekend. I've got 6 things shipping out, so I'm happy about that. The first item that sold is this Silpada necklace, and it is sterling silver. I have mentioned before that I like picking up Silpada. It's not always a super fast seller for me, but this didn't take terribly long to sell, a couple of months once I listed it. I got this at the estate sale where I spent $890. It sold for $45. Maybe this took longer than a couple of months, actually, now that I think about it. But still, I'm happy with the $45 sale price. I only paid $3 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $33. I am happy with that. Okay, the next item that sold is just this gold chain, and I grabbed it at an estate sale because I thought it might be real gold, but once I got a better look at it, it's actually gold filled, which is still good. This it's like 15.5 inches, so it could be worn as a tight necklace, or it has this extra little D-ring here, so you could double it up and wear it as a bracelet and make it into a charm bracelet. This actually did sell somewhat quickly, I think within about a month. But I thought it was a really pretty piece. People like the kind of double link, and this was textured too. So I think that's probably why, and because it's gold filled. People like gold filled and real gold stuff. It sold for $39. Again, I only paid about $3 for this, so that made my profit $28.20. For the remainder of the video, when I talk about my profit, you can assume that I am deducting any website fees, my cost of goods, and any shipping discounts. Just trying to avoid repeating myself over and over again. So I am happy with that sale. I wish it would have been real gold. It would have been worth more, but I'll take what I can get. Okay, the next item is a bolo tie, and this has a little pheasant on it, and it is an intaglio. I think that's what they call it. You see how it's kind of domed under resin, and it's just on a cord. In fact, the person who bought it asked if the cord could be replaced, and technically it can. You would just have to cut the cord off and add something else that you would like. So of course I responded right away and let them know that, and I had sent them, I think, a 10% off offer with discounted shipping, and they accepted that and bought it right away. So I am happy. Did I say it sold for $28? I paid about $3 for this, so that made my profit $17.08. Typically, bolo ties are not big money makers for me, but if I see one that I think's cool, I will pick it up, and if it's affordable, eventually they sell. Now, if you find like a Native American one that's sterling silver with turquoise, or one that, you know, has precious stones in it, of course, you can get more for those. Okay, the next item that sold is this belt, and I kind of was hoping to get a little bit more for this, but it had been pretty slow and I hadn't had any offers. I think they started out by offering me 15 on this, and I counter offered, and then they counter offered with 25. So I decided to go ahead and accept that. Does have this pretty nice buckle. It's not silver, it's not branded or anything, but just a pretty nice substantial piece. Like I've said, belts have been selling slower for me, so I'm a little more eager to accept reasonable offers on them. I paid about $5 for this, so that made my profit $15. This didn't take a super long time to sell either, maybe a couple of months. So I was happy to, you know, move it through and make a somewhat quick profit on it. And, you know, like I said, because belts aren't moving and shaking for me like they used to, I'm just going to be more realistic with what I accept. Okay, the next item that sold is this New Balance brand sort of anorak jacket. And I don't always pick up New Balance stuff, but I just thought the styling on this was really cute with the lace up, and then it has the stripes down the arm. I liked the color, and it was in excellent condition, so I picked it up. In fact, had it fit me, I probably would have kept it, but this was a size small, and I'm usually more of a medium or large. Okay, so did I say it sold for $35? I paid $7 for it. So that made my profit $18.68. This took 6 months or so to sell, so not a super quick sale, but just one of those things that I couldn't resist picking up because I did think it was cute and I did think it would sell. And maybe this person is picking it up for back to school for their kids or just for fall or something. I don't know, but happy to move it along. Okay, and I had one sale on Chairish, and I will grab that. It was this gorgeous vintage ashtray. I believe this is Murano glass, and it is actually hand blown. Really pretty turquoise kind of green color. This ended up selling for $93. Did I say all the other sales so far today sold on Poshmark? I paid about $8 for this. So after Chairish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $65.64. I am thrilled with that. This ashtray took forever to sell, a couple of years. If you guys watch me regular, you saw that I sold one a few weeks ago, and it sold very quickly once I listed it. So not all of them sell quickly, and I don't know if it's just the color combo or what it is, but I particularly liked this color combo. Anyways, I'm happy that it is gone. If you are interested in selling on Chairish, I always have the Chairish Seller's Guide linked in the description box below, and it tells you everything you could want to know about selling on there. I also have my packaging breakables video. If you want to take a look at that, it shows how I package breakables to hopefully ensure that they arrive safe and sound and not broken. And knock on wood, I've only had maybe 1 or 2 things get broken out of all the years that I've been shipping stuff. So I think I'm pretty good at it. So if you want to check that out, hopefully that is helpful. Well, that is it for today, but don't go anywhere. Like I said, this video will continue with what else I sell this week. And if you have watched a few of my videos and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Both those things really help me out, and I will see you in a couple of days. Hey again, it's Thursday, and I've got a few things to ship out, some decent sales, so I'm excited to share them with you. The first item is this vintage Kenneth J. Lane necklace, and it has these really cool ram's heads on it with rhinestones and then the blue beads. So Kenneth J. Lane, or if you see things marked KJL, he was a designer. I'm not exactly sure the era, maybe like 80s and 90s, but he had his own line, and then he also did some designs for Avon. This particular one happens to be from Avon. Let's see. You guys want to watch how long it takes me to overthink packaging this? And this really didn't take a terribly long time to sell. Pardon the noise. They are mowing the grass across the street, and apparently it's really loud. This one didn't take very long to sell, but I have had a identical one in black that has been listed forever. So this took a couple of months and it sold for $50. I think maybe the problem with the black one is that I had it listed for over $100 to start it out with. I think that's from his actual brand and not Avon, the other one. But I probably just had it priced too high. Anyways, I'm happy that this one sold, especially because I only paid $1 for it. I haven't been going to the estate sales hours and hours early like I used to, just because I'm trying to avoid, you know, overbuying and getting like excited about stuff. So I'm telling you this because there was an estate sale and I just showed up about an hour after it started, and apparently there was a ton of jewelry there, which I was sad that I missed, but I still found quite a few pieces and everything was only $1 a piece. It was a hoarder's house, and apparently she liked jewelry. She also liked picture frames. There were thousands of picture frames. It was insane, and all sorts of art supplies. Anyways, I was excited that I still found stuff, and it was only, especially for only $1. So after Posh fees and my custom goods, that made my profit $39. I'm happy with that. Let's see, the next item that sold is this teeny tiny pair of earrings, and these are real gold. They're little pink hearts, just pink CZs. Let's see if I can even, there you go. So these were listed forever too, but they sold for $45, which I'm happy with. Let's see, I'm gonna make sure that these teeny tiny little things don't fall out of here. Again, I think I started out having these priced at like $89 or something, and I had reduced the price, and then this buyer offered me the $45, which I decided to accept because they had been listed for so long. I also only paid $1 for these. I got these in a bag with a bunch of other earrings, and there was a few pairs of real gold earrings, and the bag was only $5. So I paid $1 or less for them. So that made my profit $35. That's okay. You know, originally I thought they would be worth more, but 35 bucks is 35 bucks. The next item that sold is this little sterling silver dolphin charm. Lots of teeny tiny items today. And this ended up selling for $18. This also took a while to sell. I've mentioned before that charms don't sell super quick for me, but because they're so tiny and I typically pick them up for $1 or so, I really don't mind waiting for the right person to come along. This might have had discounted shipping. So my profit was $11.08. Let's see, I was gonna put that in one of these little boxes. I am out of ribbon right now, and I haven't seen any at estate sales lately, so I'm just gonna wait until I see some to get some more to start using. Okay, and I had a sale on Chairish.com, and it was this decanter, and it has this purple bubble in the bottom. Cute piece, but this took forever to sell. I mean, probably a couple of years, and it only ended up selling for $41. So I reduced all of my decanters on Chairish, and then I've been accepting offers on them just because they had been sitting around for years, and I just had them priced too high, and that's it. But I'm glad that it sold. I paid $5 for it, so that made my profit $28.30. That's just fine. Happy to move it along so I have room for other stuff. And I had another sale on eBay, and this was that shirt that I put on for one of the recent videos, and I cross-listed it to eBay after I wore it. The brand is Bogey Boys. It's a men's size medium. These have a pretty decent retail, and it ended up selling for $38 plus shipping, which I'm happy with. I was kind of hoping originally to get more for it. I had it priced higher, but this buyer made me an offer. It looked like they had good feedback, so I just accepted and they paid right away. That was this morning. And I think it's just been listed over on eBay for maybe a week or two. So things definitely seem to be selling quicker on eBay. I mean, there's a couple different reasons. Of course, it is a broader audience. And also I have been cross-listing more items on there that I am motivated to sell that have been listed like on Poshmark for a while. So I am accepting offers over there, but I wasn't getting any reasonable offers on Poshmark for this item. So thank you all who encouraged me to cross list to eBay. So far, so good. That shirt that I sold last week, though, it's kind of stuck in transit. So I'm not sure what happens with eBay if it gets lost. I may have to file. I did USPS ground though, and I don't think there's any insurance on that, so I might lose out if it doesn't get delivered. But if you know what happens if an item gets lost in transit, let me know in the comments down below, and if you're curious, you can read in the comments below too. But okay, so this sold for $38. I paid $6 for it. I just estimated my fees as 20% on eBay. I know it's a little bit less, but after the fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $24.40. So I'm happy with that. I'm still using these little poly mailers because I think the video where I ask about poly mailers, I don't think that's been published yet. So hopefully you guys have some good suggestions about where to get poly mailers. And if you didn't watch that video, I would love suggestions about affordable poly mailers. Okay, well, that is it for today. My sales, you know, not really super great this week, but they're okay. I'm happy to still be having transactions. I did get a offer on a chair this morning on Chairish, and I'm kind of wondering if I should have taken it, but it was half of what I had it listed for. But I have had it listed for probably 6 months or so. I don't know. It was for $850, and I had the chair listed at $1,695. I don't know. It did have some flaws to it. Maybe I should have accepted that. But if I don't hear anything back, I can always match his offer later today, and maybe he'll still accept. I don't know. I paid $100 for the chair, so I probably should have just accepted the offer. We'll see. I'll let you know how that all pans out. I hope your guys' sales have been good, and don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell. I'll be back on Saturday to ship the rest of my items. All right, I'll be right back. Hey again, it's Saturday, and I actually had 6 more sales. One really exciting sale, so I'll go ahead and share that first. The chair that I was talking about yesterday or the day before, I ended up accepting an offer on that. It sold for $922. I'm so excited. I'll insert some clips of the chair here so you can see what I'm talking about. I was a little hesitant to accept the offer because it was significantly less than what I had the chair listed for, but I did some more research on sold comps and looked at the fact that my chair has significant wear and some damage to the feet that the other chairs that had sold did not have. So I just decided to go ahead and accept that offer. Plus, I only paid $100 for the chair at an estate sale, and it had been listed, I think, close to a year now. So it was time to move it along. So after Chairish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $619.16. I am absolutely thrilled with that. I hope everything goes well with the delivery. The pickups and deliveries have been a little bit quicker for me for my last couple of sales. So that is great. Okay, so then I had 5 sales on Poshmark, and the first sale is this set of a brooch, and this is signed art, A-R-T, and that was a designer of jewelry in 60s and 70s, I think. I'm not exactly sure of the history, but I just thought this was, I thought this was a really cool set with the kind of chandelier coins, just really unusual. I looked up comps for this and it had really good comps, so I priced it high. I did get quite a few lowball offers on this, but I didn't accept them, and it ended up selling for $75, which I'm totally happy with. I think I only paid about $5 for this at an estate sale, so that made my profit $55. I'm super excited about that. It did take a while to sell, probably somewhere around a year, maybe a little bit longer. I can't exactly remember when or where I got this, but I'm sure it was at an estate sale because that's typically where I pick up my vintage jewelry. None of the, well, I guess one of the thrift stores here does put out decent jewelry, but our Goodwill does not put out any jewelry. They send it all off to be, you know, examined and tested by headquarters, I think it is, or maybe it's like, I think it's regional, so maybe to their regional area, and it probably ends up on Goodwill, shopgoodwill.com or whatever it is. Okay, so did I say my profit was $55? The next item that sold is this funky beetle brooch, and this is a real beetle. I believe it's a real beetle. And then it just has this stick pin. Now, this poor little guy was missing a couple of his legs, but I went ahead and listed him anyways, just because I just thought it was a really cool, unusual piece. I don't know the age of this or anything, but I picked it up just because I thought it was cool. It ended up selling for $25, which, considering that it was, you know, missing a couple of legs, that's just fine. I think I paid about $5 for this. I think I paid up a little bit, not realizing it was broken at the time. So that made my profit $15. That's just fine. It took a little while to sell too, but not to worry, still a nice little profit. Okay, what's next? Well, the next item's a pretty good sale too. This is a sterling silver and citrine ring. This is a really pretty piece. I picked this up at the estate sale where I spent $890, and it ended up selling for $61. All the jewelry at that sale was $3. I haven't done an update on this sale in a while, but I feel like I may have lost track. I haven't been keeping track, but I've made thousands of dollars from that sale, which is amazing. So my profit on this was $45.80. That is awesome. It did take a while to sell though, because I think it's been about a year since I went to that sale. The next item I also got there, and it is this cuff bracelet. Very like Tibetan looking, I think. It was slightly misshapen or dented. Maybe not. Maybe it's fine. But cool piece. I do think this is a genuine stone, but the setting is just silver tone metal. It ended up selling for $32, which I was just fine with. I only paid $3 for it. So that made my profit $22.60. Okay, the next, hopefully this is the last piece. Maybe there's one more from my impulse buys from Kurt Geiger. You guys who have been watching know that I have a problem with that. I've been trying to be better. So it is this cosmetic case. I just thought this was really pretty, so I bought it for myself. But then I started to think, if I have my makeup in this and I have this in my bathroom where I'm using hairspray and stuff, I didn't think that this kind of satiny or nylon-y type fabric, it's not really nylon, I didn't think it would wear very well, so I decided not to keep it. It ended up selling for $71, but it did take a while to sell for that price. I don't know how long I've had this listed, maybe 6 months, 8 months. I paid $35 plus tax for it, so about $38. So that made my profit $17.48. I did not initially buy this to resell, so I'm happy I Still made 17 bucks off of my impulse purchase. So although my funds for my saving up for a Bronco, a Ford Bronco, they're not piling up super quickly, but it is helping me stay focused on not impulse buying things that I don't really need. You know, I have a problem buying handbags and wallets and jewelry, and so this is helping me think about things more before I buy them impulsively. Okay, so because of that chair sale, it turned out to be a pretty great week. I'm gonna take it either way. My total sales for the week were $1,643. That's wonderful. My total cost of goods was $196, and my total profit after I deduct any website fees, cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $1,090.42. All great statistics. I sold a total of 17 items, which is closer to my 20 item per week goal, which made my average sale price $96.65. That's awesome. My average cost of goods, $11.52, and my average profit per sale, $64.14. Wonderful. Super excited about that. I sold 2 hard goods, 10 pieces of jewelry, 2 pieces of clothing, 1 accessory, 1 piece of furniture, and 1 purse. I counted that little cosmetic bag as a purse. So clearly jewelry was the standout and kind of continues to be week to week. Of course, I do have the most of my items that are listed are jewelry. I do have shoes, handbags, and clothing too, but I think the jewelry is probably like 60% of my listings. I should figure that out and look at that. And I haven't been listing very well still. I think I'm going to need to go back and start meeting with my counselor again to keep me on, like, for accountability, to keep me on track, because that was really helping me stay focused and motivated when I had someone that I had to be accountable to at the end of every week. So that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so very much. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd give a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. I wonder if there's a beetle emoji. If there is, leave a beetle emoji or some other bug emoji in the comments if you made it this far. All right, thanks again, you guys. I'll see you guys all again next week.